Hi everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage and Watercolor Wednesday. I'm Leslie Watkins. Well, I'm kind of excited about today's program because it's based on this stamp set. Okay, so here in the Stampin' Up! Catalog you can see that this is called Hues of Happiness, alright, and it has this very pretty DSP. This is the palette of colors that are included in the DSP. This is page 109, by the way, in the brand new annual catalog. And if you go to my website at dandelioncottagedesign.com, you will find a link that will show you how you can get a catalog and a lot more information. And after the live video today, I'll be posting all those links and things in the description below. So in this suite, you can get the designer series paper and the stamps and the die set all together. And you can also get the bundle, which is the stamps and the dies. And the dies are very pretty, but I'm not going to go into those today so much. But if you're interested in getting the bundle, there will be a link below, and this is the host code that you can use, and that will automatically get you an invitation to a video that will show you how to use these things, similar to what I'm going to be doing today, but a little more involved. Okay, so I just want to show that to you ahead of time. Here is the stamp set, and what I've done to prepare for today is I've taken a piece of paper and I've just painted some sort of splotchy shapes on it, and I've done a little bit of spattering. This is done with ink, and the color that I'm using is Starry Sky. I did a previous video on Monday that will tell you a little bit more about the new in colors, and you'll be able to see me doing a little more painting with this ink. But what I want to share with you today is how you can use these inks in a lot of different ways, like you could do watercolors, and then how you can combine them with the stamps. And at the end of the painting, what I'll have is a sheet of paper. This measures 8.5 by 11 that I can then cut up and use as my own DSP and for die cuts and all sorts of other kinds of decoration. And I don't know if I'll have time today to do all of that and show you the cards that I make with it, but if not, I will definitely post a picture of the cards, excuse me, so you can see. So I love this color. This starry sky is a gorgeous color. And what I've done is I've put a couple of drops on the lid of my ink pad. So I just took the refill ink and just put a couple of drops in there so I have a nice palette to paint from. But before I do that, I'm going to do some stamping. So what I like about this stamp set is that all of the different floral elements are separate from the leaves. And then you've got a couple of little sort of forget-me-not looking flowers and a lot of sentiments. And I like this because you can take all of these different elements and you can create your own design motifs. So it gives you a lot of options and a lot of freedom to create an image that that you want to use on any given project. So I'm going to start with this great big rose, this one. And I'm just going to mount that on my block. And I'm just looking to see where the top is. So something like that. And this paper is a little bit damp, so the lines may come out a little bit soft, or they may melt a little bit, and that's okay. I'm just looking for a kind of an impression, and I'm just going to go all over here. I need my scrap paper. Okay, so there's my beginning. And next, I'm going to take another stamp. And this time I'm going to take this rose that's in profile. I'm just going to start to fill in some of these spaces. All right. Okay, so when I'm doing an all over pattern like this, I tend to use the larger stamps first and then work my way down to the smaller stamps. So the next thing I'm going to do is get my larger of the two leaf stamps. Okay, so that's this one with the two leaves on it. And I think I'm going to switch to a smaller block. You want to try to match up your stamps to the appropriate size block so that you have more control over how the impression comes out. Okay, so here's my leaves. I'll just tuck those in and around. This is a brand new ink pad, so it's very juicy. So I have to be careful I don't get ink all over where I don't want it. Okay, next, just cleaning my stamp off with a little chamois. All of the materials, the tools, the papers, everything you see me using today will be listed below. So if you're interested in learning more about them, you'll be able to just click on the link. Now I have these spaces in between these larger designs. So what I want to do is take some of these little floral images. So I think I'll take this sort of longer one. These remind me of forget-me-nots, and my forget-me-nots will be blooming in the garden soon. I love them. I'm just going to scatter these around. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then finally, I have a cluster of little leaves. And they look like this. Okay, so that's this little 5-leaf cluster. And I'm just going to go back to my larger motif here and see if I can squeeze those in here and there. Let's see. I feel like we need a little bit more in the center here. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. So that, in and of itself, would make a very nice kind of a designer series paper. But I'm going to take this a step further now. cleaning up my stamp. And for this, I'm going to get out my water painter. And this is the medium one. And I've got a little bit of water off to the side, but I'm going to zoom you in so that you can see better. And I'm not going to paint the whole thing because we don't have time for that today. So I'll work on this one. So let me get that. There we go. All right, so turn it this way. There we go. All right, so this is the one that I'm going to work on. And let me just check to make sure you can see what I'm looking at. Okay. And again, I'm now using the lid of my ink pad as my palette, and I'm just going to paint this monochromatically. So I'm adding a little bit of water, and I'm just going to begin to get in some of my leaf shapes. Now, if you like this, if you like the idea of doing this sort of work, please subscribe to Notes from Dandelion Cottage, and you will be notified of the upcoming classes that I have where I'll be featuring this set both for watercolor and fancy folds, but also in my watercolor card club. And oh, and by the way, today is May the 11th. So if you're interested in joining the watercolor card club, there's just a few more days left till this month's subscription period is over. It goes from the 16th of the previous month until the 15th of the following month. So you've just got a couple more days, and you'll be able to participate in this month's lesson, which is very important. It's all about how to model form, the movement of light on form, where to put your shadows, all of that sort of thing. And so it's going to be a very important lesson as we go forward throughout the season. And we're just getting started on this flower painting series. And we're going to be following the flowers that are blooming in the gardens here at Dandelion Cottage. And each month I'm going to be instructing you on a different foundational skill for either painting with inks or watercolor, because it's essentially the same. You need to know the same concepts that that are at work behind each of those mediums. So all I'm doing is I'm just putting a little bit of tonality on my flower here, and I'm building up my gradations, my values. So now I've got a kind of a middle tone established, and all I need to do is just go in and put in a few little accents here and there so that we've got a nice balance. And the paper is still damp, so the ink is moving nicely. one of the classes, or I should say lessons, that I have coming right up in the watercolor card club is all about technique and how to manage your edges and the amount of water to get all these different types of texture and soft edges, hard edges, and how you can control it so that the ink or the watercolor does just what you want it to do. All right, so that's the idea, and I'll just go ahead, since this one is so close, I'll add a little bit of tonality over here as well. There we go. Okay, so now once you've got that coming along, you can take it a step further. So on Monday, when I was demonstrating that torn card technique with the little fisherman, I had my my pens out. I've got my pointed. Oh, you can't see. Sorry. Let's zoom you out a little bit. I have my pointed pen here, so I thought I'd get that out again. And I have some ink that I decanted into a little cup, which I'll show you in just a second. So here's the little cup. All right, and that enables me to use the ink with my dip pen, which I'm going to do now to add some more details to my picture here. So those of you who grow roses probably know that the leaves have little serrated edges, so I can just go around and add some detail to these leaves. So that they look a little more rose-like. And I can add some veins. You know, the images in this stamp set are kind of vague enough that you could probably turn this into a peony. Okay, maybe this could be some kind of another flower, maybe a ranunculus or something like that. So you could, with a little bit of help and different treatments, turn these flowers into whatever type of flower you're interested in. So I want these to look definitely like roses. And by adding a few little details here and there, I can give that effect. So if you see a stamp set that looks like it has potential, but it's not exactly what you need for any particular project, don't forget that you have the ability to modify it and change it up a little bit. I don't see a lot of people doing that, and I think that's one of the things that can really be a lot of fun is creating your own designs. That's one of the things that I encourage my design team to do on the Dandelion Cottage design team, which, by the way, reminds me of something else I want to tell you, is that there is a special going on right now for anybody who's interested in signing up with Stamping Up. If this looks like something that is interesting to you, something like that you'd like to do a little more of, there's a great deal going on right now where you would get a starter kit that you would select any of the products at all that you see in the catalog that you like. You would select $125 worth of product and pay only $99 and get free shipping and also get some other little goodies in your package. But right now, until the end of May, there's even a better deal because you also get free ink pads, including this one that I'm using today, the Starry Sky, which is gorgeous. You get 5 different colors of the new in colors for free. You get some paper, some cardstock, you get a grid paper pad, and all of these things total about, I think it's $67 of free merchandise that you would get only until the end of this month. And you'd also then be a part of the stamping community. You'd be a part of the Dandelion Cottage design team. You'd be able to come to my team meetings, and you'd get the Watercolor Card Club monthly subscription for free as one of my team members. So this is something really, really sort of once a year opportunity that you'll want to look into. You can go back to dandelioncottagedesign.com and click on the Join tab, and there's a whole list there that you can find of all the benefits that you get, the 20% off discount, the free items, and all of the wonderful community that we have. It's really quite special. And I'd love to have you join us. So please do that. If you have any questions at all, just send me a direct message and I will get you to the right place where you need to be to get more information. Okay, so I think you can get an idea of where I'm going with this. All right, now we've gone from a very simple image, just a little outline, and we've turned it into a more developed image. I've added some little contour lines with my pen here just to give it a little more detail, a little more shading. And I can go back now with my brush and just finish this up. So I'm just putting the lid on my ink here so we don't have an incident. And opening up my stamp pad. And I can just put a very soft wash on here just to sort of pull this all together. Okay, so I can add a little, excuse me, a little more to the background. Come around these petals so that they look a little brighter. Get some darker colors in the shadow areas. And so on. So I hope this gives you some ideas of the possibilities that that you can do besides just stamping. Although this stamp set is pretty enough that even with simple stamping, your projects are going to look gorgeous. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Remember, you've just got 4 more days to sign up for the Watercolor Card Club this month. It's a subscription. You can cancel, stop whenever you like. And if you stick with it, the classes will build upon one another so that over time you have a very strong foundation in painting. So I hope you'll join us. I'll leave you with a close-up. Let's get that in the frame here so you can see it. So there we go. So there's my little picture that I did today. I hope you like that. It's really very simple. You can do it. Go to dandelioncottagedesign.com to learn more, and I will see you next time.